What do you do when your Pioneer parrot is giving you a bit of a hard time because you have a new parrot? That's always a challenge, and it isn't necessarily species specific because it has a lot to do with the fact that parrots are really good at habits. They can have the habit of always having new birds around, or they can have the habit of nothing changes. And when nothing changes year after year. Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of The Parrot Bliss Bond, a couple other books, and my most recent Feathered Splendor, all available on Amazon. Feathered Splendor is a full picture book with information, some basic information on 20 species and photos of 40 different parrots. Oh my, we're making a mess. Is that how you like to start your morning, huh? This is Ale, my white-capped Pioneer. Ale is short for alebrije, and those are really cool, sort of like mythological sort of figures in Mexico. And we're going to talk to you a little about the fact that this is kind of the way it goes with any parrot. So I like talking about a species once I've had 4 or 5 of the species, because you start to see patterns in the species and in their behavior. You start to understand more of the species. When you've only got 1 or 2, it's a little harder to talk about. So the person who wrote had a question because they've had a Pioneer for, I think, like over 10 years, and now they added a new parrot, although I don't know what species of parrot. And the Pioneer was bonded to the wife, and now the Pioneer isn't really bonding to the wife, is more bonded to the husband, and they kind of want to know what to do about that. I think the Pioneer is letting no one near the husband now. So the hard thing is, like I said, parrots, they pick a mate, and when they've got their best friend kind of thing, their mate, depending on the species, the bond can be so significant that they don't let other people around them. When you have a one-person bird like that, it can be challenging because now that parrot is going to attack other people because it sees it as a threat to the relationship between the parrot and its chosen person. So it sounds like that may have happened to some degree with the wife, but maybe not too much. And then a new parrot comes in, and now the Pioneer feels threatened. So the wife is kind of like, in the parrot's eyes, the Pioneer's eyes, the wife has left the parrot for a new bird, and so now the Pioneer is bonding with the husband because that's the other person that he knows and that he's familiar with and that he's choosing. And there's not much you can really do because it's just the parrot's natural behavior. They pair off that way. Depending on how well socialized they are, sometimes they can still do well with other people. Sometimes it's a really tough thing, and I can't speak specifically to Pioneers because I just have the one. So in any case, though, I don't think it's necessarily a species issue. I think it's just the fact that I do hear that a lot. Once you've had a bird for a long time, if you bring a second bird in, even if you have 2 and you bring a third bird in, they kind of get disheveled because their flock, it wasn't constantly changing. It was the same for a long time, and then it changed. The same thing can happen when you have a parrot in a cage and you don't ever change cages, and then all of a sudden you change cages 5 years later. They kind of freak out. They're actually really good at change, but when the habit is no change, that's what they're really good at. So be patient. The Pioneer might get comfortable and get more acclimated to the bird, although it has a lot also there to do with the size of the new bird. If the new bird is really big, like a macaw, that's probably not going to be a really good match, and they probably won't get along very well. And so one of the things that will hopefully happen as the birds get used to everything is that basically one bird will be on the wife and one bird will be on the husband. And as long as the Pioneer isn't attacking anyone, hopefully that'll all work out fine. So don't forget, guys, it's just a hard change on the bird. They get used to whatever it is, and they can roll with whatever it is. But, when it changes, that's really, their behavior hasn't really changed, but if they feel threatened, that's what's really changed. I hope that helps understanding a parrot's mindset that way can really help you understand that they're not like mad at you. They're not turning into a bad parrot. They're not hormonal or anything like that. It's that the way that they're programmed for things to be has changed, and that's what's really hard on them. So I hope that helps you bring back some of your blissful bond with your Pioneers. Right? Right, Ale? Oh, you ready to go back in? Yeah. All right. And then I will catch you in the next video. If you give us one of these and post a comment or a question down below, it helps our juice. I will catch you in the next feathered video.